For European League of Legends players, the LEC represents the apex of competition. The place where the best players in the region battle to establish dominance. And yet, only a select few ever get a shot to feel the bright lights of the big stage. For everyone else, the LEC becomes more and more of a pipe dream the longer their careers last outside of it, and they eventually, reluctantly, close the book on those dreams. But for Eric Treats Vaesen, 5 years of knocking on the door of the big time only represented a new beginning, a chance to finally claim a starting spot on the roster of a major region team. Treats is the current starting support for an SK Gaming squad that has impressed fans thus far through the 2021 spring split. Before this season, however, he had to grind for his shot for over 5 years in a way that had never been done before in league history. Treats started his career in 2016 playing for Giants Only the Brave. He played in several smaller tournaments for the following 3 years, moving from Giants to Team Roccat to Movistar Riders and finally to the LFL's Gent side.
Uses the body slam, Treats gets the double knockup, Selfmade with the explosive cast will knock two of them back, but Treats gets the stun, Zani jumps in, killer instinct from Maddie, one more shot to the back of the Gragas and he is down, and now Falco and Crownshot are running.
His highest competitive finish thus far came for the French side, where he reached the quarterfinals at EU Masters Summer 2018 and came within one game of knocking out eventual champions Mad Lions EC, whose roster consisted of LEC veterans like Selfmade, Nemesis, and Crownshot. In the 10 games that Treats played at EU Masters, the numbers he put up were absolutely monstrous. He ranked second among all players at the tournament's main event in KDA and kill participation, while ranking first in assists per game. But his ridiculous performance from the support role wasn't enough to propel Gent's side to victory. The team was disbanded soon after their exit from the tournament. Treats was on the free agent market and looking for a new home. Thankfully, he found one quickly, just not quite in the region he expected. Like many European players, he did head west to the LCS, but unlike those who went before him, he didn't waltz into a giant contract and a guaranteed starting spot.
I already had played in different ERL teams. I thought that NA could give me like a new perspective on things and a new way to experience life in general. And it was the best offer that I had on the table at the time, so I just thought that it was just an obvious choice for me.
He went to North America to play and ultimately roll the dice in the Academy League, which, depending on who you asked at the time, was where dreams went to die. The LCS's 10 franchise teams were notorious for either recycling talent laterally or importing it as opposed to promoting their Academy players.
I mean, when you're in esports, the relationships you get go really fast, and you are with someone for a long time and then you stop, so you kind of appreciate the relationship you have like after. So I think especially after I left TSM, I understood like how much Bjergsen actually taught me and how like good of a friend he was. Yeah, he taught me a lot about how to balance esports and life and how to like make the most out of both.
Treats joined TSM, and once he was on their Academy roster, it was impossible to argue that he didn't earn his keep. He did so alongside emerging North American talents like Spica, Tactical, Johnson, and Lost over the 2019 and 2020 seasons, culminating with a second-place finish in the regular season and an appearance in the summer finals. In Week 6 of the 2020 LCS Summer Split, Treats earned a starting spot on TSM's main roster, playing 14 games throughout the summer to the tune of a respectable 9-5 record. But when TSM fell on hard times during the LCS playoffs, Treats was subbed back out in favor of Biofrost. TSM would go on to win the LCS title without him. Heading into this season, TSM chose to act on the classic philosophies of North American free agency, building an entirely new roster around former Suning Gaming support SwordArt. In the process, Treats was thrust to the wayside. With an expired contract and a massive obstacle in the form of a Worlds finalist in front of him, Treats went back to the drawing board. In his case, the drawing board was the European scene.
The SK team environment overall is really good, I would say. People are like friendly and make a lot of jokes, both inside the game and outside the game. I think the biggest like funny team that I had was probably in TSM Academy, where even in the game we'd play really good together, but we'd just laugh all the time and just run around and yell. The TSM main team was definitely the complete opposite, where it was way more strict and way more like focused, I guess. I think it kind of went like overboard in terms of like if there's too many like eyes that are over analyzing things, then it goes like the other way. So I think we have right now in SK a good mix of the like fun and nonsense chatting and like good serious talk.
His limited time on the LCS stage, as well as the success he found in the NA Academy scene, allowed Treats to find a home with SK Gaming. In November of 2020, Treats signed a one-year deal with the organization, finally getting a chance to play in a starting role for a major region team. For a player finally getting his first chance to play on the big stage, Treats is making the most of his opportunity. At 24 years old, he's a late bloomer as far as first-year LEC players go. As the 7th oldest player in the league, only names like Hylissang, Jankos, and Vander have him beat when it comes to age. From the ERLs to NA Academy and all the way back to the LEC, Treats has blazed a trail that no other player had taken before. Although he's just now getting his shot to play at the highest level, Treats is still the player on this year's SK Gaming roster with the most experience in a major region. Perhaps that experience can lead a team full of first-year players to greatness on the highest stage. Thanks for watching. For more gaming-related content, subscribe to the Esports YouTube channel to stay up to date.